Oh, here, let me slash reload.
Game is going to be starting here shortly in about 1 second, actually. Zev's going to be looking to secure his gateway for his team. Jack's positioned with the Shroud to try and land an early sap on whoever pushes forward. Not going to be able to land the sap on a rampant. I believe he got into combat. He's going to cheap shot him instead. The dot's already getting loaded up with a haunt out from Zev's. A lot of pressure. Denounce is even flying in from psytrix. The Hodge going to be coming out here. Murder of Crows popped. Not sure who the Murder of Crows actually popped onto. Maybe the Warlock pet here. It is down to 50% HP, but it's surviving regardless. Saved by the Light's going to proc on it. It might finally go down. They blew a lot of cooldowns just to kill the Warlock pet. Now Vyerio on the back foot, and that smoke bomb at 18% catches a huge heal, I believe, from Rampant, as Jinzel was hodged there, and Vyerio will have to use his trinket deterrence, opening a kill opportunity for drop Novoz.
Yeah, but that's a lot of cooldowns coming out of Flex Launcher early on in the game, and drop Novozz still. A lot of pressure coming out from them. Dark Soul actually coming out from Zev's, but Zev's is taking a lot of pressure. psytrix actually having to trinket that trap using the wings. It's going to top off Evs. Vyerio taking a lot of damage though, caught into that kidney shot, cheap shot. Jinzel using that Aura Mastery to top off Vyerio for now, so he's going to be completely fine. Jinzel still has his trinket, as well as both Spirit Links available, so he still has all his cooldowns ready to go. Vyerio though, only having one deterrence. His trinket's not going to matter that much because Antijax doesn't have his smoke bomb ready to go. psytrix wings going to fade here shortly, but now Jinzel actually getting kidney shot, having to trinket that immediately, is the target of choice now, fully loaded up with dots. Evs has that Dark Soul up right now, going to be rotting down Rampant, Vyerio, and Jinzel. Actually, Evs spam fearing Jinzel now. He gets sacked out of that. His team's under a lot of pressure right now. He might have to use that Ascendance to try to top up his team. Evs, though, under a lot of pressure, having to port back, play a little bit defensive, using that Drain Life on the pet, trying to get his HP back. psytrix able to top him off, but that was the Dark Regen from Evs there, so both teams forcing a lot of cooldowns.
Yeah, Bubble still available for psytrix, as well as both Spirit Links, but the full blind coming out. Rampant is hodged. He won't be able to bop Jinzel out. Vyrio's in a lot of trouble. The killing spree coming out, forcing that deterrence. He's going to land the sap out of the blind. He's going to bop that immediately. psytrix now into a full hodge. Vyerio looking to land the trap. He does Murder of Crows here onto Zev's, but it doesn't look like he's going to... He does snag the trap in the back line here, but now Vyrio's the one on the back foot caught in a kidney shot. Zev's gateways away. psytrix leaving CC here shortly, and now into a half Wyvern. He did sack the half Wyvern. He should be able to top off Zev's here shortly, and Zev's doing a lot of work. Unfortunately getting locked out, his damage getting slowed down quite a bit as a result. Jinzel's mana sitting very comfortable, as well as psytrix. Both teams just trading cooldown for cooldown. Jinzel now caught into a full kidney. Hodge on the Rampant. He's not going to be able to support Jinzel right now. Denounces are flying. psytrix has the Avenging Wrath up. They're looking to end the game here, but he's going to get hodged. Vyerio down to 20%. Gouge onto Jinzel. Rampant popping the Avenging Wrath, trying to get something rolling here. psytrix in a trap, but Rampant can't connect. Ev's doing a great job kiting here, now popping the Dark Soul to try and make a turnaround. Jinzel on the back foot at 40% on Vyerio, 50% on Jinzel. Zevs just needs to get the dots rolling. Jinzel doing a great job, however, dispelling them constantly as they're flying out, and that Dark Soul is going to be fading here shortly, as well as the pressure from drop Novoz.
Yeah, exactly. And Vyerio actually having that BM Crows available to him now, but Jinzel's now caught into the full kidney shot. Rampart actually using his bubble there, I think a little bit defensively. He wasn't in much danger, but maybe he wanted to keep Jinzel up, not have him fall behind. The Hodge on the psytrix right now. Zev's taking a lot of pressure, though, down to 50% HP, catching that bop on the BM Crows. Well done by psytrix. Had to trade his trinket as well as bop for that BM Crows, but sometimes you have to do it. It's such a scary cooldown. Vyerio still the target of choice, but Jinzel loaded fully up right now. Actually gets Deadly Thrown. Trying to get behind the pillar, get off some cast on himself. He's going to be able to top himself off for now. If we look at mana, psytrix at 73%, Jinzel down to 63%. Dampening still not kicking in for another minute and 15 seconds. This is the killing spree, though, coming out from Jax onto Vyerio. He's taking a lot of damage, but Jinzel able to just spam out those casts and top him off. Now psytrix caught into the full trap. Antijax has that Cloak of Shadows up right now. He is the target of choice. He's trying to prevent some of that incoming damage, spamming out that feint. He's going to be completely fine for now, and both teams are sort of stabilized.
Yeah, Flex Launch are doing a significantly better job than I expected. They actually forced the Void Lord out from Zev's, so there's no more counterspell to deal with. Jinzel might be looking to get some hexes. He has to pop the Aura Master. He's going to get blinded on it. A Hodge onto Rampant to cover the bop. Great Hodges out from psytrix. Now the Smoke Bomb as well. Rampant might just go down. He bops himself out of the kidney. The Haunt connects. Full dots are up. Jinzel gets gouged before he can link. Will he be able to get it off? He gets sacked out of the half fear. He drops the Spirit Link in time, but his entire team is rotting down to 40%. Dampening not even kicking in yet. Vyerio going for a Wyvern Sting. He's going to land it. Psytrix sacked it. I'm not certain. I think it got trank shot off. Well-timed trank shots there. Now the half trap. Antijax in trouble. 6%. He's going to go down. And somehow, some way, Flex Launcher pointed it out when I felt pretty confident for Drop Novoz taking the first game on the Grand.
Unbelievable,
I
man.
thought that was going to be a hard match. I thought that would be a hard matchup for him. It wasn't an easy game, but they played that really well.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessarily an easy feat of strength there coming out from this Ret Hunter Shaman team. They saw that opportunity and they nailed it. That was a really, really impressive play coming out from Flex Launcher. I mean, the pressure coming from this Rogue Warlock was intense, and it seemed like they were ahead. But that's all it takes is one good setup. All right, guys, we are going to jump into the second game of this best of 3 series, but let me just communicate with these teams, figure out what map the losers are going to choose, and also what composition the winners are going to be playing. I'm assuming everyone is going to be playing the same composition.
What options do they have?
I think Flex Launcher actually does have, or not Flex Launcher, Drop Novoz or Good actually does have an option to change comp, but I'm not sure if it's like a main comp or anything. If it's a real option, you know, if they're completely comfortable with it.
They play a comp a lot on the ladder, so I would say it's their most comfy comp.
Yeah, I don't think that game was one-sided either way. I mean, both teams had good chances, so I'd be pretty shocked if either one decided to switch to something else.
So, Drop Novoz were good. Running Rogue Lock Paladin. They're going to bring it to Ruins of Lordaeron. Here we go. Gonna go ahead and queue up, and I will see you guys in it. Welcome to Ruins of Lordaeron. That Ret Hunter Shaman team going up against the Rogue Warlock Holy Paladin. So far, Flex Launcher took a win off of Drop Novoz. I'm interested to see what happens. Here we go. 30 seconds until this game begins. Now, it just seemed like the momentum was really in favor of this Rogue Warlock team. But, I mean, this Ret Hunter Shaman, they kept in it, and they found their opportunity. But can they do it again? Here in round number 2.
They seem pretty solid with their cooldowns, and even though Psytrix was doing a great job coordinating and denying those bops when he needed to, Rampant and Jinzel never overlapped or panicked and overused anything. It was always one deterrence, one bubble, one bop, one link, one trinket, no link, like everything very like, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing, don't do anything, this is what I'm doing, and that's why they're able to stabilize themselves so well. Let's see if Drop Novoz can find a way through that here on Runes of Lordaeron, sapping Rampant very early on here. Jinzel getting fully dotted, opening onto him with a full kidney shot. He's going to trinket that immediately, answering the adrenaline rush. They got to look to kill the shadow reflection. I believe it's still up right now, and it's going to put him into a half stun here shortly. There's the half kidney shot follow-up with a Howl Terror onto Vyerio. Rampant going to trinket out of that. Jinzel dipping low. Avenging Wrath comes out from Rampant here to try and get some semblance of counter pressure rolling onto Zevs. Jinzel dipping low. Aura Mastery heals connect, tops himself back off. Now a Wyvern onto Psytrix. The Murder of Crows coming out, I believe, onto Zev's pet. Once again, Psytrix getting trapped out of that now. Zev dipping low down to 50% HP, 40% HP. Avenging Wrath gets popped by Psytrix to top him off with the execution sentence. Now Zev's making a turnaround here, dotting up the entire team. Killing spree coming out onto Rampant, and he does have his bubble available, dipping down to 20%. Jinzel caught into a full Howl of Terror, 18% on Rampant. He's going to have to bubble there as the gouge follow-up onto Jinzel forced that.
Yeah, and Psytrix was able to use his Avenging Wrath offensively there. This is part of the reason Rampart actually had to bubble. And Rampart's bubble actually faded, and he's still hovering around 50% HP. Jinzel able to get off some cast, does have that Ascendance up right now. The team dropped Novoz all at 100% HP. Both teams have completely stabilized. That is the Hodge on the Psytrix, though. They're trying to make something happen onto Evs. BM Crow's coming up in around 14 seconds for Vyerio. Evs using that Demon Soul. They want to keep the pressure rolling. They want to keep going offensive. But Evs sort of forced into a defensive position, gets interrupted on that Han. He's just kind of standing there. He's a sitting duck right now. Finally gets topped off by Psytrix. Vyerio taking a little bit of damage. The kidney shot, though, onto Rampant. That was a smoke bomb as well. He's taking a lot of damage from Jax and Evs at the moment. Jinzel finally able to catch some heals on him, using one of his Spirit Link totems, his first Spirit Link totem, to stabilize his team.
Yeah, and there's no bubble available on Rampant. Maybe looking for him as an exposed target. Vyerio patiently saving his trinket, popping the Bistro Wrath, Murder Crows on his Zevs. The bop going to be answered by psytrix. The trinket as well to secure his life here. Antijax cloaking offensively. The barrage onto Antijax and making another swap. The evasion coming out in the nick of time. Not going to be letting himself get caught off guard this time around. Double Howl Terror comes out. Dots are loaded up into Vyerio, Jinzel as well as Rampant, rotting them down to 70%. But Jinzel's doing an amazing job with his mana. 2.5 minutes in. He's going to get caught into a Hodge down to 50%. Kidney onto Rampant. He's going to trinket that, sack the Hodge onto Jinzel. Very coordinated there to get him out of CC without overlapping. Now the Avenging Wrath being popped onto Zevs, trying to make a turnaround. Vyerio dipping low, trying to go for the Wyvern Sting. He lands the full Wyvern Sting. Evs is in trouble here, down to 30%. Saved by the Light's going to proc. He lands the half trap out of that. Avenging Wrath still remaining for a few seconds here. Drain life, desperation time. psytrix pops the Avenging Wrath. Hellstone used as well to try and secure Ev's life here, and he should be able to do it now that the Red Hunter have gotten the cooldowns. They need to pull back here. Unfortunately, Rampant into a full kidney with the Shadow Reflection image doing a ton of damage. He's going to bop himself. The Haunt connected nonetheless, still doing a ton of magic damage through that Blessing of Protection. Jinzel not in any CC, trying to fake the plethora of interrupts available for him from Jax. He should be able to top him off just fine now. And now that the Avenger Wrath has faded for psytrix, Flex Launcher is going to be looking to make a play with that next Murder of Crows.
Yeah, absolutely. That is up right now, like you were saying. That is the BM Crows coming out right away onto actually Antijax. He's going to use that combat readiness to avoid some of that damage, and I think that might have been a little bit of a waste. Antijax did have that combat readiness ready and available, but maybe they just want to slowly work through those cooldowns. Rampant actually caught into that full kidney shot. Going to use his second bop, so has no bops, no bubble, no trinket available again, and Jinzel actually caught into a full fear right now. The bop's going to fade soon. Rampant still in a lot of trouble. Sacks Jinzel, and he's actually able to catch a dispel there, so he's going to be a little bit fine. They actually dropped a Spirit Link and it instantly died, I believe. That was really, really quick, so well done by Drop Novoz, making sure they kill off that Spirit Link right away. Jinzel actually getting interrupted on his heal. The full fear coming out onto Rampant as well as Vyerio. Antijax, Evs, and psytrix completely fine right now. They have Flex Launcher on the back foot, but that is the Hodge on the Antijax. He has no trinket available because of that. psytrix decided to use his trinket and actually dispel him. He's going to be fine with that Cloak of Shadow, spamming out that Feint as well. psytrix not any more CC, but that is the Hodge on the Jinzel. Rampant in a lot of trouble, 30% HP. Jinzel has no Spirit Link available, caught into that full fear, no trinket ready to go. And Rampant, that's going to be the end of him. And it's going to be 1-1 tied up by Drop Novoz.
Yeah, a much better game for Drop Novoz this time around. Really trying to avoid giving Flex Launcher those opportunities to nab a win off him again, and that was different, man.
I think it was more up to Jax. Not like I feel like Flex Launcher was just too overconfident in their ability to kill Jax. They were probably overexcited, like, oh, we took Jax out so quickly, let's do it again. And you could see it, they were doing frequent swaps. And it's something that you have to catch him off guard if you're going to kill him. If he's not off guard, he's just going to combat readiness. He's going to have feint up. He's going to have evasion. He's going to have an answer for it. So unless they can do that, I don't really see any reason to be using your major cooldowns like that, especially after Avenging Wrath was already used. I would have liked them to sit more onto Zevs and pressure him harder, but they're doing a great job to kill his pet. Like, forcing the Void Lord out is really critical for Jinzel to be able to maintain his mana and heal efficiently. Having to deal with the spell lock out from that would be devastating, so they're playing really well. I just think that they got a little bit too excited about killing Jax in the first game and tried to overcommit to a strategy that Jax was prepared for.
Yeah. I'd agree with you, man. So going into game number 3, maybe they're going to be a bit more patient, looking for those opportunities, specifically on Jax. But, I mean, as we've seen in the past, rogues, when the setup is right and the stars align, they can just go down. And I think that that's really their biggest opportunity to take a win off of this team. I feel like going on the Warlock definitely going to stop that damage, stop a bit of the control, but I feel like ultimately they'd be able to rotate through the defenses, rotate through the portals, and survive, bring it to late game, and really find their advantage against this team. But it could go either way, as we've seen, guys, and we're going to be jumping into the last round of this best of 3, and the map that's going to be chosen is Tiger's Peak. And we're going to queue right up and jump into it. Now, this is in round 2. Just a reminder, the winner's bracket, and the team that loses right here, right now, will be dropping down to the lower bracket, and that's just not a place you want to be. And here we go. Tiger's Peak. Welcome to Tiger's Peak, everybody. Here we go. It is the last map of this best of 3 series between this Ret Hunter Shaman and this Rogue Lock Paladin. Here we go. I see you guys. I'll leave the scoreboard up a bit longer. I apologize for that. I just wanted to get into the games a little bit faster. Oh,
people just want to see the damage, man. They don't care about the games. They just want to see the damage. That's all that matters, right? Even if you lost, you look at the scoreboard and say, I did more damage than him, it's your fault.
I do that. Here we go.
Let's see, Zev's guaranteeing himself a gateway here. Vyerio sitting patiently in the camouflage. Jax pushing in to get a sap here onto Jinzel. Going to be opening up onto Rampant with that Shadow Reflection, Adrenaline Rush, Kidney Shot. Haunt's going to fly in onto him. A ton of damage as a result. He has to use that shield wall. He gets bopped out of the blind prior to the Hodge. Clutch bop out from Rampant, keeping Jinzel's trinket intact throughout this onslaught from Antijax and Evs. Still taking him down to 50%. Jinzel getting fear spammed. Vyerio trying to turn around some pressure here with the Murder of Crows onto the Warlock pet, I believe here. Gorik taking quite a bit of damage. Saved by the Light's going to get cut through, and Evs is going to pour back. He's going for the hard summon on the pet, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop it. And he's going to be able to keep that Observer even longer.
Yeah, Rampant actually using his wings there and targeting Antijax. Antijax using that combat readiness as a result. Psytrix deciding to use that Avenging Wrath. He wants to make sure Evs and Antijax are completely fine at the moment. Rampant still taking a lot of damage. The Hodge onto Jinzel. Rampant in a little bit of trouble here, down to 50% HP. The Killing Spree coming out from Antijax at the moment. Denounce is coming out from Psytrix as well. And Rampant's just hovering around 50% HP. Jinzel's trying to get out some cast, spamming out those instants at the moment, using the Windwalk Totem, trying to keep his team mobile. The Hodge onto Psytrix right now. They're trying to get something going onto Evs. Evs is the target of choice right now. The full trap going out onto Psytrix, and Evs, I don't know if he has a portal down. Oh, he does. He has a port nearby, so well done by him. Hovering around 30% HP, though, in a little bit of trouble. Might have to use that Dark Regen, using the Dark Regen as well as the Bop. Jinzel, though, the target of choice, at 20% HP, catching the Bop from Rampant, and both teams going crazy. Evs pops a Demon Soul. He wants to keep the pressure rolling, dotting up Rampant, Vyerio, as well as Jinzel. His whole team is going to rot. It's going to be hard for Jinzel to play catch-up. Rampant down to 50% HP, using that Divine Protection to prevent some incoming damage, but he's caught into the full Kidney Shot. Will it be enough? He's in a lot of trouble right now. Evs' Demon Soul just about to fade. He's down to 20% HP. He does have Bubble available if he needs it. Will they be able to force it? Jinzel getting feared up. It breaks the dots right away, so he's going to be able to get off some cast, trying to fake the CS, spamming out those instants. Still trying over and over to get off those casts. Gets the Hex onto Antijax on the Shadow Step. So well done by him. Good timed. The Hodge on the Psytrix. Evs using another Demon Soul, though. Wants to keep this pressure rolling. Vyerio using that BM Crows onto Evs. Psytrix immediately countering that with the Avenging Wrath. Jinzel pulling back, trying not to get dotted up, gets Hodged up though, and now Rampant in a lot of trouble. Down to 20% HP, 9% HP, the bubble coming out from him. Antijax has that Adrenaline Rush up. Evs' Demon Soul is going to fade. He doesn't have another one for another 2 minutes. Vyerio in a little bit of trouble. He is the target of choice for Antijax, just sitting on his back. Down to 20% HP, gets chunked down. I'm not sure what that was. That was an insane amount of damage coming out. Psytrix just spamming out those denounces with the Avenging Wrath. Gets hodged up finally by Rampant, but that is the Smoke Bomb coming out from Jax. The Red Buff Killing Spree coming out onto him. He has those wings up, so he's going to be fine. The Spirit Link coming out from Jinzel as well. Psytrix caught into that Wyvern String. Jax deciding to use that evasion. He wants to be completely safe. Evs has his regen coming up in around 20 seconds, but Psytrix is the target of choice. He has Bubble available. They might be able to force it. He has that Divine Protection up at the moment. He was able to get some casts off. Now Jinzel caught into that full Hodge. Psytrix just going to gate away and be completely fine.
Yeah, and they did smoke bomb the Aura Mastery, wasting it. So Jinzel's going to have a hard time, as you can see, as his mana's already down to 20%. Flex Launcher in desperation, trying to make something happen here, but Psytrix isn't going to let it. He Trinket bops the Murder of Crows immediately here. Rampant's Avenging Wrath coming up in about a minute. It's going to be timed with the Murder of Crows. They have to get something done with that. Jinzel's running out of time. The Ascendance gets used here, but it wasn't even to answer a Dark Soul. He just needs to play catch-up. Psytrix caught into a full trap. They're trying to make it happen. Howl Terror going to come out, denying all of the incoming damage. Unfortunately, it was going to sit for quite some time, even with all the dots loaded up. Jinzel getting swapped to Hodge under Rampant. He's going to have to Trinket out of that to assist, but what can he even do? Jinzel getting denounced down to 50%. Jax putting on the pressure down to 20%, and Guardian is going to proc. He drops the Healing Stream Totem. That's going to get cut up by Jax, who's going to reconnect here shortly. They're trying to take down Evs at the same time. At 20%, Psytrix gets a big heal there with the Avenging Wrath, and now Jinzel, with only one Spirit Link remaining, has to somehow keep his team alive with 7% mana through the Dark Soul. Adrenaline Rush onslaught. Psytrix actually getting getting swapped to here. He still has his bubble, and Jinzel into the full kidney is just going to go down. Not able to deal with the pressure this time around on Tiger's Peak. A quick 2-1 from Drop Novoz.
Yes, yes, it is. So, I mean, going into that match, I said that this RLP